Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. Birr from the Kimball Library, and here it's another week already to do a craft. I thought today we could do one about a very wise bird, so they say, the owl. And this is done with papers that are just ripped, and you make your own shape so that it looks like an owl when you're done. Let's try it. You know, they say the owl is a wise bird, but that's not really true. They're not any wiser than any other bird. That's just an old saying. But I have some nice books here about owls. You may want to come to the library and get a few. I have one that is just outside my window at home, and every night I hear him as he searches for food. Look at these books, adopted by an owl. I wonder what that's about. Owl babies, that's a favorite. Who goes there? And Little Owl's Night. Good reading, so come down and get one. But in the meantime, let's make an owl. I've started with a paper for nighttime because that, of course, is when owls are out doing their hunting. An interesting thing that I read is that owls will, a male and female owl, will travel maybe 20 times from the nest every night when there are babes in the nest. Imagine that, mother and dad going out, finding food, coming back 20 times every night. And they do that until the owls are maybe 3 months old, when they're strong enough to go and search for their own food. So let's begin. One paper, and what I did was just make a shape, not very hard on the paper, but just a little outline of an owl's head, which is just round, of course. And then the body could be a snowman, 2 pieces of a snowman, just something so that we know where to place our paper when we start. And then to make the papers, I've just taken a sheet of paper and the short side, and I've just ripped it down in strips, just about like that, maybe as wide as your thumb. And then just keep ripping, and if you get a big one, you can just rip that. And then when you have several sheets like this, then you can just make little squares, which will be the feathers, of course. And I've done it in this light brown, goldish color. And I've also got a piece of paper that would be dark, of course, for the leaves. I mean, for the feathers, because that's what we would like to see. So that's what you would do. Take a little bit of time and rip some pieces of paper. And as you're looking at the papers, you might find one, just like that, that might be good for a tuft in the owl's, on the owl's head. So remember to look for points like that for the tufts, and also for the wings, just like I've done here, the tufts and the wings. These are several pieces put together, but it was fun doing it. After I have all of I did 2 pieces of paper, a brown and the yellow, or light golden, whatever we call that. And then you could even use orange or light white or tan, any colors that owls have such beautiful colors in their feathers, so you couldn't go wrong. After we have the 2 papers all cut up, then it's time to get the glue out. And I did use glue instead of the paste. And what I've done is just put some in a big circle like a face. And we don't want to do the whole paper, but I did the head first. And so I've just put some paste around, and then I've taken the pieces and laid them in the shape of a circle. And you want to cover all of the spots on the edges so that you don't see any of the night blue showing through on the face. But just put them where you might think that they would go. And eventually you'll have a circle, a nice face, already done. And that's not so bad. Very easy to do too. And if you need to have a little bit of glue, the nice thing about doing this is that you could paste on top of your paper too. If you want to put another piece on top, you can do that. So when you have a shape that looks like a face, then look for the tufts for the ears. Not the ears. The ears are actually on the side of the head. Those tufts are not ears. And of course, owls see all around. They can practically turn their head in a complete circle, and their hearing and eyesight is excellent. They can see a mouse in the field from way up in the air. So let's see. Let's do the eyes. And that is just a yellow piece of paper. You can use whatever color you like though, but I did yellow. And then I cut them out, just like two big circles, and used those for my eyes. And then took some black for the centers. That works perfectly. Then you can glue them on when you're done. And for the beak, I used orange. And he doesn't have a pointed beak, but he has like a long, rounded beak. And it looks more like that. And that would go in the center. And then you would do the belly. And for the very end, his claws that are hanging just underneath his body, right at the edge. And I did just little tiny pieces so that you can see how sharp his claws are and how he's holding on to a branch. You might even want to draw a picture of a tree branch that he's sitting on. So these are the little feet or the little claws that I've made, and I'll do 2 for each side, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Just like that. And then, of course, we can shape the wings by looking for papers that have a point on the end. Just glue them down. It's easy, really it is. And when you're finished, you have a nice picture of an owl. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Bye-bye. See you next time.